Okay, so it says we're live now. So this is like a lot different from like last time where I had to copy and paste something that I didn't know what I was doing last time. So this should be different. I still think that you're gonna have, like, in order for us to see the comments, I think they should appear somewhere. Just don't know where yet. But it says we're live. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Still working on the whole comment thing. I just have the stream up in my left-hand corner so that I can see if comments pop up. Figure it out one of these days. Okay. You guys ready? I'm ready. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Oscar Central podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we're going to recap the big first week of the Oscar Central. And then, of course, we're going to dive into our top 5 most anticipated movies of the 2022-2023 Oscar season. As always, I am joined by Kenzie. How are you today?
I'm good. I am tired because I moved this week. I am tired because of Twitter. And, I got Dunkin' Donuts today, though, to celebrate Ben Affleck and his engagement. But exciting. That's the big news for me.
Is like top 5 worst things to ever have to do in your life has to be moving, right? Like it's easy top 5, right?
I don't think so, but this was my worst move. Of all my moves. And I have moved every year for the last 12 years. So, not fun.
Yeah. Hopefully this is a not, maybe we'll have leap year next year. It'll be a leap year.
We'll see. We'll see. We hope.
Also joining Jacob, how are you today, bud?
I'm good. I am not having to move, not yet, but I'm good other than that.
Other than not moving.
He's good. He's sad you had to move, but he's happy he didn't have to move. Like it's literally awful. Like exactly. I hate moving. Yeah. But there was a big week this week, and Kenzie, I'll let you have the floor and kind of recap for everybody at home kind of what the week was of the launch of Oscar Central.
Yeah, so we launched exactly a week ago, and it's been really awesome. First off, so we had incredible pieces drop. We had Jacob's 2023 early predictions, which I will print, and a year from now I will be like, either ha 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 or look what you did. We will see. And then we did a big list of all the nominees and winners of this year that just passed, their next projects, which is really cool. I added a lot of stuff to my list because a lot of people actually have stuff coming out this year, which is crazy. And then Ricky dropped how to fix the Oscars telecast, which is really interesting. And given all the news we got this week, I do believe their board should take a gander at said list because whatever is going on there is not good. Not good. We hit 300 followers. We actually got to 310 today, which is exciting. Maybe it was all the Jake Gyllenhaal tweets from yesterday when he hosted SNL. Who knows? But yeah, it was a great week. Not a great week for movies, I guess. I guess if you're Sonic, it was a good week. But that's it, right?
It was a great week for Michael Bay. I don't care about the box office numbers. I love The Ambulance, and I will unapologetically love that movie for the rest of my life. So
it was my Everything Everywhere week. So
oh yeah, you saw it.
Yeah, I finally got to see it yesterday because I saw Sonic today. So yeah, yesterday.
What do you think?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you on the 10 out of 10 train?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I'm 9 out of 10.
I was at 4.5, 9 out of 10, whatever. Right until I guess right until Wayman's big moment.
Spoiler alerts.
Oh,
Wayman
has a moment.
Let's just say spoiler. If you haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, skip 30 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
I was up until like Wayman's like big moment. I was at like a 4.5. And then it was like from then on, I counted there were 5 separate times that I would like start just sobbing and I would just like, okay, I'm fine. And then it just would kick back up again. And I was like, yeah, I think it might have earned that last little bit.
So like for me, and I haven't tweeted this or anything, I like it. I think it's a good movie. I am not on the 10 out of 10 train, but I do like it is like the thing. So I'm not going to like say it's not great or like argue with anyone. I just don't think it's like a perfect movie. But I will be arguing all year long for it to get an editing nomination. There is
Agreed.
no way on earth this is not the best edited movie of the year. Like without seeing anything else,
Yeah.
like
Out of this world.
I think about the editing all the time. Like
Yeah, it's incredible.
it's beautiful editing. It's like the best example of like something like with flashy editing, but it's like done in the best way. And I just really loved it. Like the editing. The movie, sure. I don't know.
I agree. The thing about it is so first of all, I saw an IMAX, which was incredible. Like that was really cool to see that movie in IMAX. And I highly recommend if you have the opportunity to. I don't think a lot of people are going to have that opportunity to, because I do know a lot of theaters are playing like Sonic or Ambulance. One of those two movies isn't playing in IMAX right now. I think it's Ambulance, but or maybe it's Sonic. I don't know.
I'm sure by yesterday it was changed to Sonic. Like I'm sure they pulled Ambulance out of more Sonic showtimes.
Yeah, exactly. So I really enjoyed it. After watching it, there's a lot of things that I do like about it, but there is a few elements that after watching it, it kind of didn't sit with me as well. I do think it could have. It's very good though. It's like very, very good. And I don't anticipate. I anticipate Twitter talking about it, and I anticipate next January Twitter talking about all the nominations it didn't get, because I don't think it's going to get many of them. But perfect segue into next year's Oscars. There is a plethora of movies coming out that we know of, some that we probably don't know of, and some may be pushed, whatever it is. But as of right now, you can check out the schedule on the website, OscarCentral.com. And we're going to go around the horn here and just talk about, I'm going to pass it around one at a time, one movie at a time. Mine's not in order. I didn't put mine in order. I don't know if you guys did. I could probably get it in order by the time it comes back to me, but we're going to go over our 5 most anticipated movies of the upcoming Oscar season, which I struggled. Before we go any further, did anybody else struggle narrowing it down to 5?
Well, so I actually made 2 lists. I made 5 movies I am excited for, and I made 5 movies I anticipate being in the Oscars race that I am excited for.
Somebody overachieved. Well, how about this? We'll let you give us your top 5. I would have 5.
That as well.
Oh.
I just have, there are like, so. Okay, I'll give you my 5 that are not in the awards race.
Let's do that.
One of them I do think has the possibility of awards. I just am still uncomfortable with the way the Academy is towards horror movies, that I do not feel the most confident putting it on my 5. Since I separated the lists, I decided this film belonged on the other list, not the award season list. But it could be on both lists. So my number 1, actually, it's not my number 1. It's just like the one that's coming up the soonest is obviously The Northman. I am a huge Robert Eggers fan. Like, I am his gal. I love everything this short king does. I love Alexander Skarsgård. He is Eric Northman playing the Northman, like the titular role. Just love it. I'm really excited. Obviously, awards possibilities, absolutely none. Men with Jessie Buckley from Alex Garland. Absolutely, like, cannot wait. I highly doubt it's getting any awards, like, not touched with a stick. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Lee Pace, talking about short kings. Let's talk about tall king. Yeah, I mean, awards possibilities, absolutely none. Disappointment Boulevard, maybe awards possibilities, but most likely not, given it's Ari Aster.
And it's like 4 hours long, isn't it?
So I don't know if I believe that. I see a world where there is a 4 hour cut and it's shown like twice in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the one that's put into theaters. I don't know. Because Ari Aster, like Midsummer's actually longer when you watch it, but it was released in theaters way shorter.
Yeah, and it had a director's cut that they did release.
So with the like one nighttime scene.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. There's like a place where there's an award possibility for Disappointment Boulevard, but like, if you think about it, Joaquin Phoenix was just in Come On, Come On, which was clearly an awards contender, and it got absolutely nothing. So I don't think the people that are like, well, Joaquin Phoenix is in it. Like, I don't see that argument because I feel like Come On, Come On was very awards friendly and it got paid zilch. So I'm keeping like this movie on my, I'm excited, but it's not an awards.
Yeah.
And then Bones and All, Timmy, Luca, back together. The cast is insane, like absolutely insane. But, you know, is the Academy going to touch this? Absolutely not. I mean, if they do, that'd be really cool, but like highly doubt it. And then the one that totally could have awards possibilities is Nope. But there is a world where it comes out way too early. It is really bonkers. And they're just like, absolutely not. Because I know the argument is that Get Out got in and won something. But like Us didn't. And Us.
And Us felt like a lock, at least for Lupita.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Like, I won't be surprised if like Nope sneaks into like screenplay or like, I think it'd be really cool based on what we've seen, makeup or effects. But I'm not like counting on anything for it until like September rolls around and we like have a better picture of what's going on. But those are my like, I'm personally very, very, very excited, but awards possibility might be a goose egg between all of them.
The one that you talked about that I'm like, not like the movie. I mean, I'm excited for the movie, but the one like performance I'm really excited to see is Rory Kinnear in Men, because he plays like
so
8 different characters or something.
So like, you know how that leaked online like right before the trailer came out and people were like, no way. And then the trailer came out and I was like, that's him. That's him. That's also him. That's him. It'd be really cool if that somehow got into like effects. Like, I don't know the way they did it, obviously, but like it looks really seamless for like, I don't know what the budget is, but it doesn't seem like a big budget movie. But that would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. That's one thing. Him is what I'll be looking for.
All right, Jacob, hit us with your first of 5 Academy movies that you're looking forward to.
All right, my first of 5. I think I'm just going to start it off with the one that I've been talking about for the longest, and that's probably going to be Spaceman. One second.
He's going to disappear.
If you're listening, Jacob went to get a prop.
Got the book.
Oh, cute.
Here. And the book is really good so far. I'm only a little bit like maybe 5 or 6 chapters into it. But Johann Renck, I loved Chernobyl, loved everything about it. Max Richter's doing the score, which I love his work. Paul Dano, Carey Mulligan, Adam Sandler, of course. And it's got the same cinematographer that he used on Chernobyl that he's using in this. So that's probably my first.
I don't know why I rewatched it. I was like, this seems fun, like to rewatch. And I was like, this is the most grueling thing I've ever watched. And I made myself watch it twice. Shout out to Jessie Buckley. Mm-hmm.
I was going to start watching Better Call Saul today. And then I was like, because I was like really excited and I really wanted to start watching it. And then I got stuck watching 3 episodes of The Ultimatum instead. So I'm sorry, Kenzie.
You're the second person this weekend to not watch something I suggested and specifically watch The Ultimatum. And I'm just like,
Have you not watched it yet? I need you to
haven't
watch
even,
it.
so
I need you to watch
the
it.
only reality show I watch is the Real Housewives franchise. But my friend keeps yelling at me to watch Love is Blind Japan.
Yeah, I heard
I'm
that's
thinking about watching that.
All
I
right, sorry,
love
take it
that
back.
we ended up on Love is Blind Japan. Who wrote Spaceman, the book?
I cannot. Yaroslav Kalfar. That's the
I did
best I'm
not know
going to be
I
able to
was
say.
putting you into this box of like, it's like a hard to pronounce name. I'm very sorry. No, so I bought a bunch of books that are being adapted into movies coming out this year, but I didn't buy Spaceman, so I need to get it.
Yeah, I mean, the book is like, so far the book is really funny, but it's also very like kind of poetic and deep, and what's happening at least right now is really emotional, and I'm interested to see, because I don't know if Adam Sandler's ever done something to that extent. I know 2/3 of this show right here enjoyed Uncut Gems, but that was a lot more in his wheelhouse. Whereas,
I wonder if it'll be a lot like parts of Punch Drunk Love, and then what's the one with Leslie Mann?
Funny People.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Funny People.
He's so good when he's given the opportunity to be good, and I do think he's good in his comedic roles. It's just like, I feel like he kind of got boxed into that, not like in a bad way, because he's obviously so great at it, but I just feel like people are so shocked when he is in something not like that, and I'm like, he is great, he just doesn't choose to do this stuff that often. Like, but I remember seeing Funny People in theaters and like bawling my eyes out. So
same. It's an incredible movie.
So yeah, that's my
so, but you have this being like big in your
I think if it is, I'm basing a lot of it off Chernobyl, which was like, I think still based on like IMDb's, was like the #1 TV show ever.
It's literally, yeah, it's like #1 still.
And I remember how well that did, and I just visually and like story wise, I'm like, if he can do any bit of that into this, which is going to be not only like a space movie, it's going to be political, and it's going to be super funny, poetic, like all that kind of stuff. I think it could be really big, because again, you know, like I just mentioned, it's a space movie, so then you've got visual effects that could come into play, you've got sound that could come into play, you've got all these like technical aspects that could come into play. I mean, Midnight Sky was awful, and that still got a VFX nom.
Oh, Midnight, that was bad.
So I think it could. I'm hoping that's one of my, I guess, hope dicting kind of things, but I hope it's going to be big.
I think if anybody looked, like, I literally could ask everybody in this panel here, and probably they would be able to predict probably 3 of the 5 movies on my list, but I'm not going to let them do that, because I really went safe on some of these picks. My #1, everybody's already going to know, but I'm going to go with another one that I'm really excited about. Obviously, that's Florian Zeller's follow-up to The Father, the Son. It's part of his trilogy of movies that he has written, that I'm very, very excited about. Obviously, I love The Father. I think Anthony Hopkins' acting win is one of the better acting wins of the last decade, because it's just an incredibly well-written movie that should have been nominated a lot more if it would have just got the smallest of pushes. Like, it got a lot of nominations, surprisingly, across the board, but it should have gotten a lot more, just because, especially the picture. But I mean, what he was able to do with The Father in that small confined space, and the editing in The Father was just incredible. Outside of the performances, the script was beautiful, the production design, I loved everything about it. Obviously, throw in Hugh Jackman, Vanessa Kirby, Laura Dern. I am just ecstatic Obviously he wrote this with Christopher Hampton, who he also wrote The Father with, and it's based on his own stage play. So I'm just excited. I'm excited for part 2 of this trilogy of what he's got going on. And yeah, I'm excited for this movie.
I did this when the movie came out, and I just did it again because when you said that, I was like, oh, I forgot what all it was nominated for. And I looked at film editing and I said, oh my God, Yorgos Lanthimos did the editing. I'm like, no, it's Yorgos Lanthimos. So yeah, that one got me again.
2 times, just never ending.
Yeah.
I love The Father so much, and I do think it was like the next film on Best Picture. Like, it was.
I think it was 6 or 7 on director too. I really feel like he was close.
I do too. Especially because of how it panned out with wins. Like, there's no way that nominations, it wasn't like on the cusp of getting into like all these other categories.
Wait, you think it was the runner-up for like the number 2 for picture?
I think it was like way up there. Like, I really think that like that film, and not even just the performances, I think like that whole film, like the way it's edited, the production design is like not only like incredible for what I assume is a low budget. I've never really looked up the budget, but it's so intricate.
They were all low budget.
Yeah, it's so intricate into the story. And I think that is like so hard, especially with like smaller stories versus like something where like Nightmare Alley, like the production design is such a part of it, like, or Dune, like it's like these
$6
big
million
budget.
was the budget.
Yeah,
I was about to say
that's insane that it has like notable production design. Like, that is such a strange like thing to point out for such a small movie, but it's like such a part of the story that it's amazing that they were able to incorporate it. But he just has such a way with actors, like the performances he obviously drew out of Anthony Hopkins, but like also Olivia Colman, who I don't know how to explain that that performance she gave. It is so layered and just so haunting. And I'm a huge Vanessa Kirby fan. Like, I'm a The Crown stan, but I love I loved her in Pieces of a Woman. I would have gone for a win for her, but I'm excited to see what he does with her. I'm a huge Hugh Jackman not doing big budget fan movies. Like, him in Prisoners is an all-timer for me, and I'm hoping we get some kind of performance like that. I haven't seen Logan still. I know. I assume he's amazing in that, but I'm just excited to see this movie, mostly because I want to see what performances he gets out of the actors involved. Because
I'm looking forward to the banter between obviously Hugh Jackman and Laura Dern, because they're the ones that play opposite of like, she's the ex-wife. So I can imagine how strong those scenes will be. So I'm really looking forward to it, and kind of, it's probably my number 2 most anticipated movie of this year. It really is. I would say it's probably number 2.
Love that.
All right, Kenzie, you're on the clock.
So it's not my most anticipated, but it's one I'm most excited to see how it comes together. So She Said it. So I personally feel like maybe it's too soon because there's still a trial going on. I'm not really sure, like, we're far enough removed from everything that happened with Harvey Weinstein, but this story is more about like the journalist that like wrote the article that came out that started the downfall of him and eventually started the Me Too movement. I am terrified it will be like Bombshell, where I was so excited and absolutely hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little more confident because this is women making the film, telling the story, women involved with like producing. And like the screenwriter, she wrote Disobedience, which is like one of my favorite recent movies ever. But I'm still very nervous. I don't know. I'm hoping it's more like Spotlight-esque versus like of that kind of journalistic film. But I'm just so terrified it's going to be like Bombshell. That movie just kind of... Because I think it was the same thing. We weren't far enough removed from the story itself to have a better feel of the story versus like this could be like we're rushing it out to get it done and get it told. but I trust the filmmaker, I trust the writer, I trust all the actors, like obviously Carey Mulligan, but Zoe Kazan, she has just turned out incredible performances recently, and I'm really excited to see her like in a feature film that's not like where it's like too small for like a big general audience to see, because I do feel like this will be a big movie. But I'm most excited for Tom Pelphrey because he just obliterated me on Ozark, so I can't wait. But I don't know, I'm very nervous for this one, but if it's good, it's gonna be like so good. So we'll see. And I also really love movies about like the industry, the way the Oscars do. Like I love that. Like I absolutely love it. Like if you look at the IMDb for this, you see like names you know as the characters, and I kind of love that. Even when it's bad, I enjoy it. Like I didn't like Bombshell. I absolutely hated it. But did I have fun watching her play Gretchen Carlson? Absolutely. Like I was like, she's hilarious as this. Like, but I don't know. I'm just scared, but I do have more trust in this movie because it is women directing and writing versus a man directing Bombshell. But we'll see. Like it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Carey Mulligan has 2 opportunities for an Oscar. If she blows both, I don't
She'll
know
have
what I'm gonna
Bradley
do.
Cooper next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is so risky to do like journalism based movies, especially this soon, because it's like you said, like my biggest thing with Bombshell is I don't think we were far enough away to where we like knew new things, and so we were just being told everything that we had already known and already been told over the past X amount of years. And so I think if they can't find a way to like actually tell us something new, then I think that is that's where it could start to fall off a little bit. But I do agree. I am excited for it. And I do agree that I think having actual like women involved in a women focused story is a big help, rather than having the guy who was made fun of on Barry for not being a great director.
That, and I hope like the tone isn't like Bombshell. Like Bombshell didn't work for me because when it wasn't very serious, like the scene with Margot Robbie where it's like deeply uncomfortable, it was immediately followed by like scenes played for laughs and like the Kate McKinnon of it all, and like the tone just did not match the story. And that's like a huge part of why that didn't work for me. And I hope that She Said is more similar to Spotlight, which like had moments that like played into like the newsroom environment where they're like deliriously tired and laughing or whatever and making jokes. But like the second it was serious, it was very serious. Like there was no like, I don't know. I just felt like Bombshell was way too light of a movie for how dark the story is. And the story is clearly very dark. So I'm just hoping tone wise it is.
Yeah. And that's not saying like a journalism movie that soon can't be done. I mean, All the President's Men did it, what, like 4 years after Watergate?
Yeah. That one, so they were like changing it as they were shooting it because like stuff was still coming out. But I do feel like that one framed it more about like the story and them writing it, which is what I feel like this will be.
Yes.
But I just, you know, when something like really like you're really excited for a movie and then it's terrible and it like really like cuts you, like that TikTok noise where you like pull the dagger out, like that is me with Bombshell. Like journalist movies are like some of my favorite, like my favorite season of The Wire is the newspaper season. Like I love that, but Bombshell just like, I don't know. And I saw that at a Q&A at ArcLight, RIP, December 2020 or December 2019. And I don't want to spread rumors, but Charlize Theron was extremely sick, coughing, looked terrible for Charlize Theron. Like obviously she looked better than I ever have in my life, but like for her was not great. And I'm like, she totally had COVID. Yeah. She totally had it. because she was like, I've never been this sick. And I'm like, why are you here? This was like before COVID was like super what it is now, but totally had COVID. So another dent in Bombshell's ticks.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob.
Is this my number 2? I guess I'll just go ahead and take this one. My number 2 is probably going to be The Fabelmans. I am a sucker for coming of age, family oriented movies. I'm a sucker for directors, actors, writers, whoever, making movies kind of about themselves, not in like a shitty kind of way, but like just to tell their story. And I think Spielberg is, and this isn't like a hot take or anything, he's probably one of the greatest directors who has ever lived. So why not tell that story? I love the cast. I'm all for The Fabelmans.
Did you guys watch the Spielberg documentary on HBO?
Mm-mm.
So highly recommend. Like, it's pretty long, but it's one of the best documentaries about someone living that I've honestly ever seen. But him talking about his childhood and like how it affected the stories he told, it like literally makes me cry just thinking about it, like him talking about it. So I cannot imagine what the screenplay will be. And I, like you, I'm a huge fan of like directors I love. Not even directors I love, just like directors kind of like telling their own story, because I just feel like it always is like their best project. And I can't imagine that from Steven Spielberg, like the career he's had, and he's doing this now. So I'm very excited as well.
I saw that clip that's been recently like going viral about how I can't remember the show he was on, but talking about how like someone brought up how Close Encounters was Spielberg like talking about his parents, and he was like, well, that's a really good point.
So in the documentary, he talks about he always told a story about divorced parents. So like E.T., Close Encounters, like every movie has divorce, like at least at the start of his career, has like divorced parents. And it's because his parents got divorced and he took it really hard. Like he says he was like a really well-behaved kid and his parents got divorced. And then he became really angry and like fighting all the time, and like just really like it changed his perspective, even on, like per him, like on his religion, which is like part of the story of how he made Schindler's List. It's just really great. But so it's really like just so fascinating that he's going to do this, because he's kind of like slightly been putting it in his movies all along, I guess. So him doing it, and then like the cast he's doing it with is just great. But I do hope someone has clipped or whatever that quote of Seth Rogen saying awards don't matter and Oscars are dumb or whatever, because
I'm sure Will has it.
The second he starts next like this year, I'm like, I thought they didn't matter.
I just want to interview him and be like, do you remember last year?
It's so mean because I love
November
him.
11th,
he does so much good.
Yeah.
But it was just like, bro, like out of all years to say this, you say it when you're about to be in a Steven Spielberg movie. Like,
yeah, about to play the uncle. I mean, they just gave Ben Affleck a SAG nomination just for being a cool uncle.
Literally.
All right. So I'm trying to change my picks as we go here. I don't want to have the same picks as everybody. It's kind of getting on my nerves now.
I'm really scared someone's going to take mine.
That's why I tried to take that one out of the way.
My next one is anticipation, just obviously not for the story, but obviously who's playing the lead, and that's Rustin. I'm very, 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 very excited about that. Obviously, Coleman Domingo, I love just everything he brought to
Coleman
Zola
Domingo,
was incredible.
Bestie.
Yes, exactly. But I'm excited to see, because even Zola was I feel like he plays something different a lot. You know what I mean? I feel like he challenges himself, and I don't think this is going to be a hard role, obviously, you know, based on what it's about. But it's George C. Wolfe coming back. I loved what he did with Ma Rainey Black Bottom. I love that. It's a really good movie. The cast is incredible. I mean, Jeffrey Wright's in it. You've got Divine Joy Randolph in it. about obviously Bayard Rustin. And I'm really, 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 really excited to see kind of Coleman Domingo take off and maybe get some of that Oscar love that he probably should have, not probably, he should have gotten this year in a movie that I knew he wouldn't get any Oscar love in a million years, because I doubt any of them really watched that. Most of those people didn't watch that movie, but Zola's incredible. If you haven't seen it, watch it, please. But
I think it's on Showtime.
yes, so please watch it. I love Zola. So I'm very excited about it for a multitude of reasons, but obviously Coleman Domingo being the lead is a icing on the cake, and the story is incredible. You know what I mean? The story about Bayard Rustin is incredible in itself. So
I'm just gonna say this now, but if Nicole Kidman could get an Oscar nomination for a terrible impersonation of a real person, if Coleman Domingo does not, I don't have to say why not. It's just so exciting that Coleman Domingo is in, it sounds so dumb, but that he is in like a biopic, because it's like, he should have been in for Zola. Like, I understand the content of the movie is not an Academy friendly movie, but like, if that performance was in like a movie that wasn't about like a stripper, like it would have been in. Like
100%.
it would have been
100%.
That moment where he switches to the accent is one of the scariest things I've ever seen, but also some of the best acting I've ever seen, because he does it like so naturally, but it's also very intense. But he is such a great actor, and it's crazy that Euphoria is like everywhere, and I don't feel like people talk about him a lot. And I know it's because his performance is very like subtle, but I feel like that it's so hard to be subtle and carry so much weight, and he does that so effortlessly, and that's so unique with actors to do something like that. And he's also like, his character on Euphoria has like a dark kind of story, but he has obviously come through it, but he is so comforting at the same time. Like, and that speaks volumes to Coleman Domingo, because he's able to do that. Like, he's able to carry like a dark backstory, but also be so comforting and like someone you want to have on your side at all times. And I can't imagine how difficult that is to do as an actor. And I just really hope he's doing a biopic. Nominate him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you watching, it's incredible to kind of really. He's been around for so long, right? A lot of us know who Coleman Domingo is prior to this resurgence. Obviously, a lot of people know him from The Fear of the Walking Dead, which, you know, I'm sure he's incredible in. Because
I didn't know he was in that.
I just found out he was in that, so thank you.
But I mean, he's been in it for like 5 or however many seasons. Like, all of those have been around for like 40 years, I think. Like. But he's nice to see him kind of get this resurgence. Like, people know him from that. People know him obviously from Euphoria now, but he's been around for so long, and it's like people are taking him serious, right? And it's kind of cool because he's such an incredible actor. Like, you're right. There's that entire hotel scene in Zola. I've never just been in such awe of that transition, that entire moment of a film. And he just exudes, and I just loved him in that role. He's so good in Zola. Like,
you know, when someone's like cast in a movie and you're like, before you even see it, you're like, they're fucking perfect. Like, perfect for this. Like, I feel like his agent and him have a really good idea of like what he is so good at. And they're really like, because every single time he's casting something, I'm like, holy shit. Like, he was
incredible in Candyman. Like, Candyman, he was perfect.
Okay, so Candyman, like, so good. And then the other thing is, I absolutely hate with my whole body Assassination Nation. I hate that movie so much, but he's really good in it. Like, really good in it. Because
there was another one, the Gods Committee came out last year. Yes. It was a low whatever, it just got kind of thrown on there. It had him and Kelsey Grammer. He played like a priest, or like a
we were talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Hello, Kelsey Grammer.
He was incredible in that too. Like, it's just, the guy doesn't miss, and I'm excited to see what he does with Rustin.
Yeah, me too.
You're on the board, Kenzie.
Okay, no one took mine. So my next one, I am so excited for. I'm begging the Academy to do something here. We'll see. Like Jacob wrote about this one a little bit and said the same thing. Like we have to wait and see because the story is insane.
I know it's coming.
Yorgos Lanthimos, poor things. Listen, Lanthimos could do anything and I'd be really excited. But the cast on this one is
it's incredible.
Absolutely insane. Quick question. Does Willem Dafoe sleep or like what does he do? Because he has been in 4 movies every year for the last like 5 years. I don't understand.
I think he's just in a chamber.
Literally.
He goes in there and this takes like, he can be for like a week, get a week's worth of sleep in a day, and then just go out and work. Because
he's in everything. But Rami's in this, Mark Ruffalo, Derek Carmichael, who just had like the biggest
on the count of 3 reunite.
I was gonna say Jared and Christopher Abbott.
Are we gonna see this before that?
Probably. Absolutely.
But Christopher Abbott's in this. Like it's like Margaret Qualley. Obviously Emma Stone. I feel like there's someone else. I don't remember. There's so many people in this, but I don't know. I love Yorgos Lanthimos, and I feel like he is able to pull off like insane movies. Like if you explained The Lobster to someone, I do not think they would assume that would be a movie that got an Oscar nomination. I'm so excited, and I feel like he made some strides with the complaints that The Favorite was very white. I mean, it's still pretty white, but like, I don't know. And I am a firm believer that Emma Stone's best performance of all time was in The Favorite. I don't know. I just think Yorgos Lanthimos, like we were kind of talking about earlier with Florian Zeller, is an actor's director. Like he is so good at pulling out performances you would never expect from someone. But he's also like hyper aware of where to put a camera, and I love that. And
how to use it. And like, it's so cool because like, if you think back on The Favorite, he uses like some of the worst lenses like imaginable. Yeah. But then it makes the shot so much cooler, like in context of what they're doing. Like the fisheye lens, you would have put that in any other movie, I would have hated it. But like having them like run across, it was just
that,
it was amazing.
And the way he shot the entire the race they did, like with I don't know, he's just if you would have told me like shoot this, I would have been like, I'm gonna put the camera like here, and he's like, I'm gonna put it up here, I'm gonna put it over here. Like I don't know, he just has a vision I'll never understand. I won't even try to understand. Like if I interviewed him, I would never ask him about it. But I don't know, I'm so excited. The story is so weird. I bought the novel to read it. I'm really excited. But yeah, this could either get like a screenplay nomination, that's it, because they're like, I don't want to touch this. Or it could be like The Favorite, like 10 nominations. Like you never know. Like you truly don't know. I don't know. But does anybody know if Emma Stone is like PGA producer? Because she could get, if she could get like a Best Picture nomination. Because I know she's the producer on it. But yeah, I'm just really excited. And I think it's hilarious that this is also a Searchlight movie. So one day this movie will be on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Like, what?
She got nominated for Outstanding Producer of a Limited Series for Maniac.
Remember Maniac?
Yeah.
Maniac was one of those shows when you watched it, you were like, wow, this is the best thing ever. And then I have never in my life thought about it again.
It was incredible. Then you're right.
Yeah, no, I agree about Poor Things. I'm like, either this could be The Favorite, where it's like, oh, it's like weird, but people kind of latch themselves onto it, or they're like, oh, this is weird, and so we're just gonna say it's a masterpiece and keep that masterpiece here.
Yeah. So my thing is, I'm really sad ArcLight's not around. I hope there's rumors it's coming back, but like they said it was going to open in December and it's now April. So,
right around the corner.
I saw The Lobster at like an Academy screening, and it was the most awkward audience I've ever been in. It was completely silent, like nothing. I saw The Favorite. It was like a ArcLight you can pay to be a member, so you get like a discount, you get like monthly gifts. But that's basically it. But a lot of Academy members were members of ArcLight. But so I saw The Favorite at like a members only screening. It was like a week before it came out. I'm telling you, people were on their feet laughing. Like people were like, this is so funny. Like the audience was really like interactive. And I was like, I think this is different than The Lobster, like just off that. And I'm really sad that like I won't probably like I'll probably see this at like 10 a.m. at like Almond Draft
Yeah,
House.
exactly.
Like no idea of like what, because I'll never forget The Favorite. I sat next to this really old lady and I was like, what is she gonna do? Like, has she seen the trailer? Like, does she know? Like, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like I have this in the awards column right now, but we'll see. But I would love so much if we got Mark Ruffalo a supporting nomination that was deserved. No offense, but him yelling "It's time" was not a nomination.
Okay, but his Foxcatcher one was. So
yes, Foxcatcher. Actually, just to plug the website, OscarCentral.com, I put Channing Tatum on my list, and you know, maybe one day he'll get there. I am a firm believer he's a really good actor. And I did not put Magic Mike, but I was very close. I love Channing Tatum. I put him for Foxcatcher.
Yeah. Put him as lead, hopefully, which he should have been. And Steve Carell should have been supporting. But okay, I'm up.
If you take my movie, I will. I have two that you can't take. I hope you know.
I'm going to go
Avatar 2.
I thought about it. No, okay. I will. I don't think Kenzie's going to take this one, so I will take it. I will go White Noise from Noah Baumbach. You get Noah Baumbach and Greta working together before they ultimately win their Oscar for Barbie in a couple of years. Adam Driver is back with Noah Baumbach, which is where he should be, not doing all of these other things like House of Gucci.
Just don't slander The Last Duel. This is the pro The Last Duel podcast.
Yes, pro The Last Duel podcast. But yeah, I think I don't know much about the book. All I know is the synopsis, and I've never read the book, but I've heard the book is an interesting read. I bought it. The synopsis is really interesting.
It's in my pile. Yeah.
It seems like a very hard thing to get across. You know, studying Hitler studies would be hard for anyone to really get across, but I don't know. I think
worry about you know how, like, I don't remember if anybody remembers this, but somebody took like out of context clips of Black Klansman of Adam Driver and made like, okay, so I'm like, I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
But so I keep thinking, like, is this going to be like the Squid and the Whale, where it's just like an extremely like unlikable, like hard to like watch kind of thing? Or is it going to be like Marriage Story, where it's like a character study? Like, so I'm going to read the book, like I bought it, but I too am worried about that. But I also just think like, I don't see him following up Marriage Story with like something that's hard to digest. I think, I don't know. We'll see. I'm really excited. Like, I'm so excited.
I mean, apparently the book did really well.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. And I also think like him and Greta working together with her, like on camera, is going to be like a really good way to set up Barbie in a sense that like you'll know, like we'll see them at like events, whether or not that's the Oscars, we'll see them together and they can be like, we're working on Barbie, like, you know, like because they're obviously about to shoot it since like Ryan Gosling dyed his hair.
Yep.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I am excited for it because I love everyone involved. But it is one that kind of worries me just a little bit.
I'm going to go with my next pick, which is the most predictable pick in the entire universe. Then I'm going to say Babylon. Anybody that could have guessed?
I should have taken it. I should have
still write it down.
Got to it.
I didn't write down that or the sun because I was like, Ricky has it covered.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, half my list could have been predictable. I mean, it's really, I mean, the other one is obviously super predictable too, but Babylon, I could go through a list of reasons of why I am excited about this one, but the number one reason is Damien Chazelle. I love that man. He doesn't miss. He hasn't missed. I don't care what anybody says about First Man. It's an incredible movie that was robbed.
It's his best movie
at the Academy Awards. Hey, I'll take it. It is what it is. I wouldn't say that, but it's his third best movie. But
it's his second best.
Second,
like 1, 2,
I think I'm second too.
But
you're gonna say Whiplash is one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already know. Yeah. But yeah, I love Chazelle. I love his work. I think his writing is incredible, and I don't really feel like I need to say anything else. I don't know. I'm so excited for this movie, and I'm
so excited
for the
to find out what role everyone has because every goddamn day on Twitter, someone's like, this person is supporting, this person's lead, and it's the same person the same day. I'm like, I am so
strong
excited.
Cast, top to bottom.
So I'm a huge First Man defender, and I just want to shout out Christopher Nolan, who was at my showing that I paid for at 2 p.m. on a Saturday at City Walk IMAX of First Man. But I love First Man so much. So I'm kind of excited because the budget on this is big, right?
Yeah, it's like over 100 million, I think.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that because I do feel like of any director working, I feel that Damien Chazelle has the best like kind of grip on making like big budget movies feeling small. And I'm excited to like find out more about this movie versus like just like a 2-sentence synopsis. Like
Justin Hurwitz is coming back, which is not much of a surprise, but he was robbed for First Men's score, which was incredible.
The score when they land on the moon is like it's
out of this fucking world.
It's some of the best use of a score in a movie. Like it's insane.
And he won like everything leading up to it. And I just want to throw it out here. Yes, Justin Hurwitz and I share a birthday. We were both disappointed on the day that he got snubbed. It was on January 22nd. Yes, I remember the date. Fuck off. But
yes. Of course you do. It's your birthday.
Well, I just remember it being, well, yeah, that too. But it's just funny to me that he was snubbed. But Hurwitz coming back, they work together on everything. They went to school together. They do everything together. So it's not a surprise there. But the cast is strong from top to bottom. I mean, you're looking, I mean, not just Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. I'm excited to see Tobey Maguire. I'm excited to see him act. I love Tobey Maguire. I think that he's incredibly like underrated.
Listen to me. I will die on this hill. He was such a good Nick Carraway and deserves more love for that. He was good. I hate everyone who says otherwise. Sorry.
Same boat.
Big year for Brad Pitt. Wow. Yeah, I'm really excited. And like, I love movies about movies. Like, I love it. I know they're very cheesy, but I love it so much. So
especially movies about old movies.
Yes. And like,
yeah, that transition from like silent film to, that transition out of silent move and like it's incredibly
it's giving me like a lot of Singing in the Rain vibes, which is what I hope it like kind of does like tonally. And so
I just really hope the editing isn't cheesy. I keep getting like panic attacks that it's going to be like cheesy editing. I don't mind if there's like one like on the nose thing, but please don't do too many. Because it's like, you know, like a studio can be like, we want this. This is what the people expect. So I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. There's just too many interviews about like directors being like the studio kind of like took this movie away from me. And I'm like,
which speaking of, did you see Robert Eggers actually came out and was like, no, this is the movie that I wanted to make?
So I read the whole interview and he never said that it got like taken away. He just said there was like a conversation about it and people like ran wild with that. And I'm like, I feel like he would have point blank said they put out a final cut. Yeah. I don't think he would have left A24 without final cut approval. So like, I think it's so funny he had to come out and say that, because I was like, did we ever really think that he let a movie come out? And then especially because it came out and people were like, this is the most brutal movie I've ever seen. I was like, what? Like, you guys were just freaking out that the studio cut this movie. Like, just so weird. Ugh.
I'm excited. I'm glad, like, he works with the same editor, obviously, for Babylon. Tom Cross is editing it, who actually helped edit No Time to Die too. But I agree with you. I'm really hoping that this is I've seen the comparisons to Wolf of Wall Street, like tonally is what from our sources. But I'm excited. I don't know. Chazelle is just Chazelle in my book. So yeah.
Love. So my next one is obviously the return of Darren Haronovsky, The Whale. Listen, so he's gone away for too long. Like, Mother is my number one movie of all time. Just the greatest movie ever. But he's been my favorite director for so long. And I have missed him. And I kind of replaced him with Robert Eggers as my favorite working director, because Darren Aronofsky's been gone for too long. But he's back, and he is back with someone who means so much to me. I made my dad take me to see The Mummy and The Mummy Returns in theaters like 5,000 times. Like, I remember seeing The Mummy Returns and being so scared of something. And I was like, let's go see it again. Brendan Fraser means the world to me. And like, there's this movie with him that's so bad called Blast from the Past, where he gets like locked in a basement. He's from the 50s and he wakes up present day. It's so bad. But like, I was obsessed with him growing up. So I watched like every movie he was in. But he is such a great actor, and I'm really obsessed with his resurgence and his reaction to his resurgence, being so well received. But the plot is very like problematic, and it's obviously based on like a play, so I'll never know. But I don't know. Darren Aronofsky is like such a visceral filmmaker that I love everything he does. I am so excited. I want to see this. Like, I'm assuming he shot it on film. I want to see it on film. I want to see it on the biggest screen possible. I just love Darren Aronofsky so much. I don't know if this really has awards possibility, because it sounds very divisive. And you never know after Mother. Like, he kind of talked himself out of any awards love for Mother. Like, every time he opened his mouth, it kind of like irritated people, and everything I thought I took back. But we'll see. Like, we will see. I would love that if Brendan Fraser, like his first big film entrance, because like in the last couple of years, gets him an Oscar nomination. Like, that would be one of the coolest like publicity things of all time, and he clearly deserves it. But we'll see. This could be something that gets like 4 nominations or like 0, but I'm assuming it's a lock for makeup.
Yeah, it would. I would think it would have to be.
But we'll see. Like, I mean, there's
the
like no images. There's no anything for this movie, so like, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'm very nervous. Like, I'm very nervous. Yeah. Like, when it comes out, the first trailer, I do believe that Twitter will be unbearable. Like,
yeah.
I feel like people I don't know. I just think it's going to be like super divisive, and I don't know. And I don't trust A24. Like, I have the hardest time putting anything A24 on a list of Oscar movies because there's clearly no one that campaigns. There's no awards campaign person on their team. Like, I don't know what they're doing. But this could either I don't know. We'll see. I have my eye on it because it's Darren, but it could just be like another Mother that I'm obsessed with and no one else likes.
I agree.
Mother.
Because I can't remember, but I think the play is all done in that one room. Like, he doesn't really move much.
Well, so that's the other thing is I read like there's like no set changes. It's like it's very similar.
And so that's for 1 second. We got a question here. It was like, which film of Searchlight is going to be pushed more? Empire of Light, Poor Things, Asteroid City, Next Go Winds, or Banshees? Was the question.
I want to say Banshees, but I don't believe it because I am a firm believer that In Bruges could have gotten so much love had it been properly handled. And I just feel like, I don't know, it's hard to tell with that because Three Billboards like clearly overperformed.
Agreed.
It's so funny. I'm like straight up, this is not the one, but I don't really have an
answer. Right. It is. I think obviously it's going to come down to whatever movie plays the best. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, like it has nothing to do with what is the best movie. It's just like actually, which one. Oh, Jacob has an answer.
Well, I was gonna say, you know what? That could like lean into what my next pick's gonna be.
Oh,
which is
what is it?
Next Goal Wins.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
what a year for Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, after doing the snow person or snowman mobile.
Snowman. I almost said Snowpiercer.
And all that, it's like he's actually like getting a full comeback. And I think this is going to be one for, at least for me, that I'm going to find a lot better than Jojo Rabbit, just taking it in. Because I just didn't like Jojo Rabbit.
Same.
But the story seems so like at least interesting. And I know the documentary it's based on is like supposed to be really good. And I am a full-on sucker, whatever, for Will Arnett to be in anything. And I know that when he got cast in the role, it was reported that they actually expanded his role, which Armie Hammer was only supposed to be a cameo before things happened and he got taken off. But yeah, so that's one that I'm actually really looking forward to. I think people have been like looking for it for a long time. It's been on like the predicted Oscar list for the past like 3 years now. And so I think with it finally coming out, having a more like straightforward comedy drama type of story, I think that could be a Searchlight movie that really does well.
And like Taika is like having such a big moment right now because of everyone's favorite gay pirate show. Please watch it on HBO. But I have so much to say about Taika, but I'm not going to say it. It's all positive, but I just could go into like a huge pop culture spiel. But he is like such a likable person, and I think that only increases when he's funny. And I feel like this is just, I don't know, I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited. And Michael Fassbender is somebody that I think is hilarious, and he is only ever super stern and serious. And not that I've seen, he's an X-Men, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen those, but yeah, I just think like this movie is gonna play to a lot of people's strengths that are like not typically thought about from what I'm understanding about it. I mean, like we could see it and it could be like something completely different. But yeah, I kind of agree. That could be like one of it has like a lot of star power in a sense that it's a lot of people that are like recognizable to the general public outside of the awards audience, but it's also like really recognizable people to people in the awards audience. And that's
plus
a really
it's like
important thing.
It's also a fairly recent story. I mean, the documentary came out in I think 2014. And
when he started shooting the movie.
Yeah. But I agree. I think Taika's at his best whenever he's actually doing something like comedic with a little bit of heart. And I think this is something that could do that. And we saw last year that, they are willing to go for sports movies. They went for Ford versus Ferrari a couple of years ago. They went for King Richard last year. So, soccer's probably the biggest sport in the entire world. So I think that could be a really big one. Plus, when it comes down to it, like everyone's going to be talking about Will Arnett, and then all the Armie Hammer. Oh, he replaced Armie Hammer stuff's going to come back up, and it's going to keep it in the conversation for as long as it needs to be.
Yeah.
Perfect segue for my next pick. Speaking of Michael Fassbender, I'm going to mention The Killer. Should I take your pick, Kenzie? I feel bad.
Yeah, that's why I chose White Noise, because I was like, I'll take the other Netflix movie.
Well, anything David Fincher obviously is something that I'm keen for, but I got even more excited for this movie, as crazy as it sounds. Obviously, he's working with Andrew Kevin Walker again, but Andrew Kevin Walker wrote one of my favorite movies of this year already, which is Windfall, which I thought was incredibly well written. But that pairing is amazing. I'm super excited about it. The story, I actually bought the book. I'm excited. I want to read it before obviously it comes out because it's based on a novel. I'm super, super, super excited about it. Fincher
isn't it based off like a comic?
Yeah, it's like a comic book.
Yeah, based off a graphic novel. Yeah. So I'm intrigued and I'm excited. So.
And the cinematographer.
David Fincher, comic book movie director.
Don't do that to me.
They're already taking so many people away from Kenzie. Do not.
Literally, like the Dakota Johnson thing is like gonna fuck with me for the rest of my life. I'm so caught off guard now. But the cinematographer, it's the same guy from Mank, right? Eric?
Yeah, Messerschmidt.
Yes. That's so.
And Ant-Man. Oh, sorry, just kidding.
That was my next pick.
I feel bad now. I'm sorry.
I literally.
We can share it if you want to.
David Fincher doing anything is like thrilling to me. I'm a huge Mank defender. I love Mank. I think it's top tier. But to like general Fincher audiences, he's returning to form. He's doing something dark and gritty. And like even though Michael Fassbender has a very prickly past, which I will be very curious if it comes up, since he's in 2 movies. I'm sure he's in more than 2, and I'm just saying 2. But I'll be very curious if it comes up. But I said that about Joaquin Phoenix with Joker, and nothing ever came up. But it's so exciting. And Tilda Swinton, like I worship her. So this is thrilling, and I'm interested. I'm very interested because I'm not gonna read because it's a graphic novel. I'm probably not gonna read it, but it's very thrilling, and I don't know. I'm excited to see what he does because he spends like Mank was such a personal project for him, to see like how he like moves forward from that into something that doesn't seem very personal. But
yeah, it's a different segue, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But this is what most audiences expect from Fincher, so I'm feeling he'll be darker than normal, if you know what I mean. Like I don't know. I would love for him. I would love for him to be like, you thought Zodiac was my best movie, like, be like, I saw the shit you guys talked about Mank, even though Mank was so good. But yeah,
I don't know how much. I know Kenzie's looked into it way more than I have, but does it? Is it like sort of like what Barry does, where it's like an assassin, like kind of gains a conscience? Is that
So, yes, but it's kind of like forced upon him from what I
okay?
understand. Like it's not like from what I'm just clarifying this once again, from what I understand, I did not
Mhm.
read what it's based on, but it's like kind of like not in a sense where Barry just like decides,
Mhm.
like awakens himself. But I could be wrong. Like, I don't know. But from what I've understood, it's like forced upon him
Okay,
to like realize that.
that'd be interesting. Yeah, I was just wondering because I went and read this. I'm doing like my Barry rewatch right before season 3,
Three.
and yeah, 3. Um, and I like saw the synopsis where it was like an assassin begins to psychologically crack as he develops a conscience, even when his clients continue to demand his skills. And I was like, oh, well, that's that's what I'm watching right now.
Yeah. It'll also be interesting to see like how that is received with like how popular Barry is.
Mm-hmm.
And especially since Barry's finally coming back. Like
I know.
literally.
7 years later. Well, or at least what it feels like 7 years later, right?
Yeah. How many more do we have?
One.
Yeah,
One?
one.
Ooh.
I know.
Oh, no, I have to pick.
I
This
know.
sucks.
You know, I'm kind of bummed that Ricky took this from me.
I feel bad.
Because
I feel bad.
now I just have so many I want to mention, but I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go with one I know no one else will mention because I am a Brady Corbet like enthusiast and no one else is. I'm gonna go The Brutalist, which I'm just realizing Mark Rylance is also kind of having a Willem Dafoe year where he's in like a million movies. Wow. But The Brutalist is Brady Corbet's follow-up to Vox Lux, which we all know is my jam. But it's Sebastian Stan, Vanessa Kirby, Mark Rylance. There's someone else in it that I was
Oh,
really
Joel
excited about.
Egerton or
Joel
Edgerton,
Edgerton. And then
Marion Cotillard.
and then my Vox Lux gals, Rafe Cassidy and Stacey Martin, are also
Yep.
in it. But I mean, it doesn't really sound like a plot I'm interested in. Like, it's like a 1940s, 50s architect comes to the United States. It's like I'm not really like a period piece or past kind of person. But we'll see. He makes really interesting movies that don't always work, but I truly, truly absolutely loved Vox Lux so much. So I'm really excited. I don't think this will be like an Oscar movie. I don't really know. But the cast is really big this time. And like to be fair, Natalie Portman was very much in the conversation until the movie came out for Vox Lux. So this could be one of those where it's like in the conversation and then people see it. Nothing happens. But it's hard to ignore Marion Cotillard and Mark Rylance. So I'm keeping my eye on it. But okay, he is in 3 movies that are coming out that have not come out. And then he was just in the outfit. And he's in a TV show, Mark Rylance.
Do we know if the Terrence Malick one is coming out this year? Or is
The
that
Ways
next
of the
year?
Wind, that's what I'm
Yeah.
checking. Okay, it says it might be coming out. I would have said that.
Oh, because that's one where I'm like, oh, I would love to see him play the devil.
Right? Okay, I didn't put that on my list because I didn't think it was coming out.
Yeah, I kept thinking that it was getting like pushed back.
Well, like, so IMDb previously had it listed as production, and now it says post-production. And it says The Brutalist is pre-production, so that means that's not coming out. I will switch to The Way of the Wind. I will switch.
Good switch.
I will
Good
switch. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This one. Okay, because I'm a firm believer that what the fuck was it called? A Hidden Life would have been an Oscar movie had the timing been better of its release. Like, at least he could have been like a lone director nomination. I think it's one of his best shot movies. Like, it's stunning, and I actually really loved that movie. But so yeah, kind of same thing here. Like, kind of could be like really weird subject matter. But I don't know. Mark Rylance playing the devil.
Yeah. That's
Like,
I'm like,
hello. And then what's his name is in it? I was just on my IMDb. Shit.
it says
From
Ben
Rust and
Kingsley's in it.
Bone.
Matthew Schoenhardt's
Yes.
in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it could be like 0 and we all just like posted memes of it. Or it could be like 5 nominations. I will not go higher than that. But yeah, Mark Rylance is someone, and I'm so sorry to do this to Ricky. I just keep saying Mark Rylance. But he is kind of like one of those people I can't ignore, you know? And Terrence Malick, obviously you cannot ignore Terrence Malick, just the conversation around his films in general. But because we were all talking about Hidden Life, and then it came out and it kind of like went, which I don't agree with. But yeah, him as the devil. Are you kidding? I'm so excited this is coming out. I swear I check IMDb all the time, and it's said production for months. So this is thrilling.
Also, this says he's
news.
playing 4 different versions of the devil.
You know what that means? Is he's probably playing like a cartoonish looking devil, a devil like in everyday disguise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry. Literally. I love a man named Terrence Malick and his symbolism. And I can't imagine what this movie is going to be. And I'm a huge defender of religious movies that are like not offensive, but just like not what religious people interpret, like want from a religious kind of movie. Mother, The Last Temptation of Christ. So, you know, and like, I don't know, I kind of like hope it touches on like purgatory, you know, because that's what I get a sense from someone playing multiple iterations of the like Satan. Thrilling stuff here, breaking live, that I'm just now breaking this down because in my mind, I locked this movie away for 2023 because I was like, no way. And now it sounds like The Brutalist is 2023. Wow. I don't know. This is shocking. Let's go, Terrence Malick.
Coming to Jesus, we could say, in the middle of the podcast.
Literally. I'm so excited. Wow. Thanks, Jacob.
Oh, you're welcome.
Last pick, Jacob.
Ooh.
I'm going to shock everybody with my last pick.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was The Way of the Wind?
Okay. My last pick is not Pinocchio, but shout out Guillermo del Toro and hot Ewan McGregor cricket.
I tweeted that and people yelled at me. He is a really sexy cricket.
Shout out Park Chan-wook with Decisions to Leave, and if that comes out, I know that'll be great because oh boy, masterpiece. Shout out. I gotta get all my shout outs done.
You gotta get all your shout outs.
Shout out Women Talking because Sarah Polley.
Yeah, I didn't say that one because I was kind of hoping you would. So double shout out.
I love The Last Waltz. I thought that was one of Seth Rogen's first good, like, dramatic performances. And I think that story is going to be very hard to take in. And I saw a tweet that said, I can't wait for Frances McDormand to start getting Oscar love so she can go slap someone. And I did laugh a little bit. But I think ultimately I just have to go with what I know. And I'm just going to say Across the Spider-Verse, I think the first movie, I still think is probably the best animated movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And Sony paid it absolute dust when it came to promoting the movie for awards. They gave it like a December 20 something release date and then didn't talk about it. I love Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I love anything that they are attached to. What's his name?
Watch the after party. Oh, sorry.
Kemp Powers is directing this, or is co-directing this one.
So if it won, would he win this time?
I think so. Maybe.
We need to figure out because, he was paid a little dirty.
Yeah, I'm glad that Pete Docter said something, but I do agree. I think it's so weird how like
the way all of the feature categories work is so weird. But I just want to say this podcast and website is a firm believer or firm supporter of that article that Phil Lord and Chris Miller wrote, that animated is not a type of movie and they are just movies. And stop treating them so poorly, Academy. And I am still angry at the way they presented animated feature, even though I am not an animated. That format does not typically work for me, but it was really weird to present that category that these movies are for kids when a movie like Flea was nominated in said category. It is a medium. It is not like it's an animated movie. So yeah.
I do think that year, if Into the Spider-Verse had gotten a better push, it could have gotten way more nominations. I think this year they'll probably know what they've got, and maybe they'll push it for more other than just animated. But yeah, I think that is going to be my last pick, and hoping that Ricky takes what I think he's going to take.
Probably not. I don't know. I'm going off the rails here. I've seen this trailer now twice, and I'm super excited. It's coming out way too fucking early. But
I know what it is.
The Northman?
So I'm seeing that this week. But I always in our group text messages when a trailer comes, I don't watch trailers. I refuse to watch trailers. The only time I ever watch trailers is whenever I'm in a text message. And the problem I have is because this person is so problematic.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew what it was.
He's so problematic, but at the same time, I'm a huge fan of this person's work. It's such a hard, like a rock and a hard place, and it's Elvis. Like I'm really looking forward to Elvis.
I had it written
and the trailer has just reeled me in every time I see it. I watch it and I'm like, I'm ready to see this fucking movie.
You kept saying problematic and I was like, what actor? Like I wasn't thinking about like the subject.
The person himself. It's crazy because his career is insane, right? You know what I mean? Like his rise, that time frame. I know way too much information about it. It's the trailer. It really is. It's one of the best trailers.
It's Baz Luhrmann.
It's one of the best trailers I've seen in recent time, which is also terrifying because I'm like, what if the movie fucking sucks? And it's like the trailer was amazing, but it looks so good. Outside of Tom Hanks' weird whatever the fuck he's got going on.
He looks like a bird. Like
someone in my replies said he looked like he looks
like Penguin
secretary from Monsters Inc.
Okay, I would say that before I saw the profile and I saw how pointy the nose was, because I didn't realize how pointy the nose was. He looks like Danny DeVito's Penguin. It is wild. Listen, Baz Luhrmann, Strictly Ballroom, changed my life, made me realize like directors' names. Like I love Strictly Ballroom so much. I love Baz Luhrmann. Even if his movies aren't good, like Gatsby, I still love them. Like, and it could be like it comes out in June, right? Like June 24th. It could be like it comes out then and it's just like Gatsby, where it's like really pretty and fun and nothing. Yeah. And like it's premiering at Cannes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very Rocket Man vibes. Like very Rocket Man vibes. But yeah, it's hard because Elvis is very just unbelievably problematic. Like,
And see, that's my biggest thing is like I get stuck in a rock and a hard place when it comes to that. And it's like, but like a movie tonal wise, like I've never been so like I've seen the trailer twice now, and I've just never. It's been a long time since I've seen a trailer like that I've been really just.
you know what?
Holy shit! It looks
gives
so
me vibes of is like, or not vibes of, but just the feeling of it is. I feel like we as people don't get excited for stuff that isn't like a comic book movie because those movies are just so undeniable and like big, and they kind of like take up all of the culture for like not only like people that like movies, but like general audiences. That's what they go for. And Elvis is a huge movie that people are interested in, and I think people will see. And it's not like a sequel or like a superhero. Like, I know
it's 100% could be like this year's Bohemian Rhapsody box office wise. Office
so like
wise.
that's the thing is like it takes so much for like people to like general audiences to be like very interested in something, and especially with like we are seeing people are not going to the theater, especially given the opportunity like, oh, this movie came out 3 weeks ago but you can already rent it. Like they're gonna rent it. And
this is doing an HBO Max, well, at least from what I heard, dual release.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had it on there like dual release.
I saw the trailer that said only in theaters.
Only in theaters.
In the trailer, it says only in theaters.
Oh, let me look again.
Because funny story. My dad and I got in an argument about this because he said it's only going to be in theaters one day because it said only in theaters on June 24th or whatever.
Oh my God.
He swore that it was only going to be in theaters that day and that day alone.
I think this movie's going to be really big, like box office.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Like, it's going to be massive. Yeah.
And I think if it is like Bohemian Rhapsody, I don't think it'll make that much money because part of Bohemian Rhapsody was like the band going out and you know, bashing their lead singer's credibility. But not even credibility, just like humanity.
I just hope it's a better movie than Bohemian Rhapsody, but that's aside the point.
I say that and I still haven't seen it because I can't support Bryan Singer. But
such a shitty movie.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I saw that viral clip of the editing and was like, you couldn't pay me to watch this. Like, one of like the 3 recent Oscar movies I just like skipped. But I don't know. I do think it's gonna be like just a massive movie. And so Rocket Man was big, but it wasn't like, it was like, you know, when Rocket Man really excelled was when it got to Hulu and people were like, he wasn't nominated. Like, I don't know if it's going to be like Bohemian Rhapsody or like Rocket Man. But what's shocking about Rocket Man is like they did have Elton John going out promoting it and it still just never got to Bohemian Rhapsody levels. I don't know.
The wrong year.
I think that if it is good, it'll be undeniable. But if it is and like not good, like if it's like fine, it will not have like it'll get 0 things. But I am very interested in the singing aspect of it because from what I've read is part of it is Austin Butler's voice mixed with Elvis. And then the other part is just Austin Butler singing. That's really interesting to me. That's obviously way better than lip syncing. Mm-hmm. And it like kind of honors the man. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how they handle his marriage to someone he groomed.
Yeah.
His
and like I said, that's what
culture. Like, but I also look at like the trailer kind of like hints at him being exposed to the culture. And I wonder if they address him stealing from it. It's just really interesting because he is someone, Elvis is someone that like it's, I don't know. I feel like if you tell like an older generation, like he's problematic, they get very defensive over him.
Oh my God. Yes. 100%.
And so I'm wondering how much they lean into that, because they could alienate a huge audience of this movie.
Yep.
It'll be interesting. I don't know. Like, Baz Luhrmann is clearly not like a huge Oscar player. Pour one out for Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's been a long time.
I am excited for it. Like, I am excited for it. Like,
I'm a great Gatsby guy too.
They do not do a massive premiere in Vegas. They are messing
the boat. Yeah, 100%.
And I hope whoever is Austin Butler's stylist is getting some really cool looks for him.
He has to. Like, I feel like the Cannes premiere, he needs to be there with like. Yes.
Something bedazzled.
Because if it's really good, like, they're not going to have any issues. Obviously, of Tom Hanks. So that's point A come Oscar season. So if it's good.
And like, this is the movie he got COVID from.
Yeah. And like, not that you have that. And then of course you have like Cody Smith McPhee's in it. Like McPhee, whatever. Like recent Oscar nominee, like you have a strong tent pool of people that you could really rely on.
Yeah, that's what makes me like, is it going to get Oscar love? But then that release date, it's just it could go either way. Like, we will see. Like, it is going to be very
I'm also excited. Calvin Harrison Jr. is in it. Raise the Roof.
And they just released like an image of him, from like an official image of him as BB King. And it's like, it'll be interesting. Like, it will be like,
My like I said, my biggest thing I'm scared about is the fact that I just saw that image for the first time. Holy shit, that's awesome. But I am very scared because, like I said, a trailer that good can only means it goes downhill. Like,
I'm just saying, even if you don't like the movie, the A Star Is Born trailer is one of the best cut trailers of all time.
Somebody doesn't like The Star Is Born? What the fuck? Oh, I don't time out.
And that trailer played before every fucking movie you saw that year. Like, for like 6 months straight, that trailer played. Like, you saw the opening of like them at Glastonbury. You knew it was the A Star Is Born trailer, the chords.
That's such a great movie.
I haven't seen the Elvis trailer that much, but I also just think Alamo curates their trailers very oddly. Jacob, do they play it a lot at Regal?
The Elvis one? Yeah, it's literally in front of everything.
I saw it in front of ambulance.
It's so loud that if we forget to close the doors, you'll just hear like Elvis just start singing out of like nowhere. It was in front of, I think it's in front of everything that we have right now.
That's so funny because it was in front of, when I saw the Batman at AMC and IMAX, it was in front of that.
Yep.
And then I've never seen it again. Like, I
think I've seen it twice. I
saw a Batman at Alamo and it wasn't in front of it. They played the Doctor Strange trailer. And every time I see it, I have to watch it through my hands because like I can't watch part of it when his face gets all PC, because I can't look at stuff with a bunch of like holes or like pieces. Like, it's like a bad phobia. And I didn't know because I don't watch like Marvel trailers. So when that happened, I was like, oh my God.
It's got a prime real estate release too. Like, it's got a prime, like looking at the June 24th release date. So obviously the week before is Lightyear. The week before that's Jurassic World. But like Elvis, like it's right before 4th of July. And you know, the only thing coming out over 4th of July is the Minions movie. So like that's going to be like programmed to adult. It's going to be, it's going to be a hit. Like,
what are you talking about? The Ethan Hawke Black Phone movie is actually coming out the same day.
Elvis, I think that is going to be.
And isn't the Marcel the Shell? Isn't that
that is coming out.
What is
I think it's the same date.
So the show with shoes on. Not the series, the movie.
I don't see it on. I'm just looking at what the website that I'm on right now doesn't show that on. I mean, it does show Black Phone.
Are you looking at the Oscar Central calendar? Because I know Marcel the Shell is on that.
Absolutely.
It says it's coming out that day. So it's Elvis, the Black Phone, Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Yeah, but I think Marcel the Shell is not going to get that wide of.
Anyway, doubting Marcel the
Shell should get the wide.
Marcel should.
Like I said, nothing's coming out against it that will be programmed.
I played that trailer for my roommate, And the first thing she said was, "Oh my God, that's Marcel." I was like, I had no idea that it was
Marcel
like a
has
series.
such a chokehold on like people that like if you know about Marcel, it die hard. If you don't know, you're like, what the fuck is this? But if you know, you're like, oh my God.
Oh, I saw that. That was not that good. Okay. I was looking at the week before.
Elvis kind of has like a really long window. It was like 2 weeks before Thor.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry, I know that Natalie Portman and Christian Bale are in it. Still not seeing it.
But yeah, I just think it's gonna. I do think, like, I mean, I feel like it could really be this year's version of Bohemian Rhapsody, because Elvis is an iconic character, you know. And you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I've had the conversation about him with people that love him, and it's like, oh my God, like you're going to war with a wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like my parents, like, so their first dance was to an Elvis song. And I was like talking to them about like how he groomed his wife and like, you know, like stole from literally every Black person he ever interacted with in their entire culture. And my dad was just like, I know. And I was like, oh. And then I talked to like someone else in my family. They just started yelling at me. And I was like, okay, like this is like very...
It's like having a political conversation.
Yeah,
it really,
it's
like
literally
it's a
like
no word.
so heated, so widely debated, and I'm like, what? Like he isn't really like calm down. But it's the way people hold like their chosen celebrity.
Especially in that like that time frame, the era, like it was just everybody turned the blind eye to these sorts of things.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh well. Yeah, whatever.
I just quickly want to laugh that of all the movies we left out, it's hilarious. But there's one movie I want to shout out that nobody said. Killers of the Flower Moon, highly debated.
That's what I thought. I thought Richie was going to say that one.
I was going to say that one. I
saved that one for you guys.
It's on my list. I literally I made the switch to Elvis last minute because like Killer of the Flower Moon, it's just Scorsese. Like it's just.
So
my favorite director.
Budget out of this world, like not on this planet. Cast not on this planet. I have already read this book. It's nonfiction. I think excited. It's gonna be next level. Like it's gonna be next level. There's not even that much to say about it because it's like I don't know. I'm just fucking thrilled for our boy Lance. Like our boy. I don't know. I unpacked today my collection of DVDs and I saw my Friday Night Lights series boxed. And I was like, Lance, Academy Award nominee. Lance is doing it. Lance is doing big things. Yeah, I'm excited.
I like I said,
if you're listening and not a Friday Night Lights fan, Jesse Plemons is who we were talking about. His name is not Lance on the show, but if you watch the show, you'll know that rhymed. But yeah, I don't think we have to say anything about that. But I just wanted to like shout it out since nobody did, and I didn't want anybody listening to be like,
"Oh my God, how did they not say that movie?" Right?
I think it's because it's such a given. Like they're it's almost like the same thing as the Fablemans, where it's like you don't even really have to bring it up. It is just like I'm just so thrilled that we live in a world where we're following up such a top tier director lineup with what could be also a top tier director lineup. Like it's incredible. I love these like directors for just doing their thing. And then just want to shout out, not that I'm excited because it's a Marvel movie, but we have to say something about Black Panther because I don't know what we're going to get.
Is it coming out?
It's supposed to come out later this year, but
it has a date.
Don't know
locked.
What they're going to do.
I don't know because of all the delays.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Yeah. But I mean, also at the same time, they have that order of junk that they have to release and
Well, so the thing is, there's like all these, like when I was looking up dates, there's all these like to be announced dates of Marvel projects that it could like slide into. But right
And it
now it
messes
still
up their
says.
chronological order of nonsense.
Well, so what I was reading on like Marvel blogs is that there's a space for it to be delayed one more time where it won't mess anything up.
Also,
But if
let's
it's
shout
delayed-
out the best comic book movie coming out this year, Shazam 2, because it's got Seth Cohen in it. Let's go.
I just want to say, I tweeted the other day because somebody, I don't remember who it was, she tweeted, I think her name is Ashley, I don't remember. She tweeted she was watching some show waiting for Adam Brody, but it was Adrian Brody. And she's like, what the fuck? She's like, please do something with Adam Brody. And I cannot agree more. Adam Brody is the superior Brody. He deserves more
watch The
love.
Kid Detective. Fucking
He-
loved it.
Wait, doesn't Adrian Brody have a movie this year?
Who
Just
cares?
kidding.
He's
Sorry,
everywhere.
that was
He's
me.
everywhere. But you know, shout out to Adam Brody. Love him. I feel like there's something else we really forgot. You know what we forgot to mention is the fuck David O. Russell movie. The cast is so big that I don't know what to do about it. But like,
oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
David O. Russell.
I want that one to be so out of the conversation so bad, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it is David O. Russell. You kind of have to keep him in the conversation, but I can say I don't think we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. We also just speed round the Woman
3,000
King.
Years of Longing.
Yes, The Woman King.
Yeah.
Viola Davis. I'm very curious about Don't Worry, Darling, because I have heard some things. We kind of talked about the Banshees. What else is there?
Whatever Empire Light is going to be, it could be good.
It could be good.
Um,
Tar with Cate Blanchett.
Yeah. Tar and Till, especially with, I guess, all the recent events that are happening.
Oh, and then if it comes out, I don't know what they're doing, because what I've heard is this movie's been done for a while, is Red, White, and Water
Yeah.
with Jennifer Lawrence and Brian Tyree Henry.
I can't remember what site it was, but somebody has Winston Duke down in that role on their list of nominees.
Interesting.
The I Want to Dance with Somebody.
I think that will be bad.
Yeah, but
Personally.
I think at
We
least
can't ignore the
lead
biopic
acting,
aspect. Knives Out 2, which I heard is not called Knives Out 2.
Oh,
I keep forgetting that comes out this year. But yes, you are right. What else?
I feel like we kind of touched everything. Oh, Broker, and then Asteroid City, which we heard is
I guess also Armageddon Time, but that last thing, what I've heard about it wasn't great.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot that is like, I just have a really hard time. Same thing with some other movies we talked about, like first screenings. I have a really hard time like trusting those kind of things because it's never the movie we see actually.
Yeah.
But I do kind of believe the Armageddon Time.
I agree.
Like,
Which
I
sucks
don't want to, but it makes sense.
Ad Astra was so good too.
Ad
I was
Astra-
so ready for it.
Listen, Ad Astra was Brad Astra was Rad Astra, It was one of the best father-son movies I've ever seen. I don't know how you make a movie so big, so personal, but James Gray did it. What a fuck, like that movie changed space movies forever. And I'm sorry to everyone who yells at me, including my husband, that Interstellar is Christopher Nolan's best movie.
Nope.
Ad Astra is the my parent is in space, I don't know what's going on movie of the century. Like, it is just
I'm going to watch that tonight.
incredible. incredible. Jacob like checked his watch for anyone listening. I was like, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Yeah, I did see what time it was.
I'm rewatching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with my husband.
Oh, you know
watching
what?
The
Speaking of that,
Ultimatum.
I need to finish Only Murders.
You do.
Yeah.
So funny. I'm not a Selena Gomez fan, other than her blush, liquid blush. If you're listening and you wear blush, highly recommend. The Sephora sale ends 4/11. If this drops before 4/11. For everyone.
I think that's
the sale
it.
is over. Sorry. All right, is that it? Are we good? Perfect.
I heard about this movie called Cha Cha Real Smooth that's supposed to be.
It's fucking terrible.
I was so excited.
All right,
we did
so
our
with that
most
being said-
anticipated.
So with that being said, we'll just ignore that comment. I'm just gonna keep muting him, and he'll just keep unmuting himself. No, I'm kidding. Oh shit! I was about to unmute you, and you unmute yourself. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. If you have any movies that we did miss, go ahead and obviously you can comment. Let us know on Twitter. That is Oscars_Central. Make sure
And if you're listening and you have Oscar Central, please give it up. You haven't
we will
ever
send
tweeted.
you a lifetime of supply of love. And make sure to check out OscarCentral.com. We'll have some more articles dropping this week. I'm excited about. I've been writing a very few angry pieces that I'm excited to release to the world because, Academy gets it wrong more often than they don't. So thanks for listening. And next week, we'll talk to you guys later.